It was like a battlefield. So I said to myself, there's very little chance that some of them are alive.
Im Wallis ist es während einer Skitour zu einem tödlichen Unglück gekommen.
Eine Gruppe ausländischer Berggänger kam nie dort an, kurz vor der Hütte am Pigne da Rolla.
Vorgestern waren 14 Skitourengänger in einen Sturm geraten.
Immer mehr Details zur Tragödie werden bekannt.
Staatsangehörige.
Ein kritischer Zustand.
Unterkühlten Berggänger.
Dort starben 3 weitere Personen.
Die Staatsanwaltschaft hat die Untersuchungen geleitet.
Ich erinnere mich sehr gut an die Bilder, die durch die Presse sind. Nur weniger als 48 Stunden, nachdem wir zurückgekommen sind von unserer Haute-Route, nachdem wir bei strahlendem Sonnenschein an dieser Stelle, genau dieser Stelle, durchgelaufen und durchgefahren sind. Und das war unglaublich schockierend.
Steil bergauf mit Harscheisen, den Steighilfen an den Skis, geht es auf den Col de la Serpentine. Quer durch gewaltige Gletscherabbrüche, über Spalten verdeckt vom Schnee des letzten Winters. Dann ein Stopp vor dem heikelsten Stück des Aufstiegs.
Päuseli, Sonnencreme, Sonnenbrille, trinken, essen. Gehen wir 5 Minuten wieder. Dann gehen wir dann noch flach führen. Dann machen wir 2 Seilschaften.
An so einem Tag für die Vorbereitung muss man sicher mal den Wetterbericht studieren, von der Lawinensituation. Mal schauen, ob die Gruppe noch fit ist, wie fit sie noch ist, ob sie schon müde ist und vor allem das Wetter. Ja. Und das kann man am Abend davor in der Hütte relativ gut abchecken.
Wie nahe das Leben und Tod auf einer solchen Tour beieinander liegen, zeigt sich 2 Tage später, als eine andere Gruppe an dieser Stelle in einen Sturm gerät, die Orientierung verliert und 7 Personen in der Kälte ums Leben kommen.
Die Walliser Staatsanwaltschaft hat neue Erkenntnisse zum Bergdrama vom letzten Wochenende am Pigne da Rolla.
Der italienische Bergführer Risch, entgegen anderen Annahmen, während der Nacht bei seiner Gruppe geblieben. Am Morgen hat er versucht, Hilfe zu holen, schreibt heute die Walliser Staatsanwaltschaft. Dabei ist er in den Tod gestürzt.
Was dieser Gruppe widerfahren ist, sei der Super-GAU in den Bergen.
Ja, das ist natürlich schon ganz schwierig. Aber wir als Bergführer, wir probieren immer so lange wie möglich bei den Gästen zu bleiben, das ist klar. Und die letzte Lösung, wenn man wirklich nichts mehr anders kann, dann muss man halt die Gruppe verlassen, um Hilfe zu organisieren. Sonst gibt es vielleicht noch mehr Tote.
Für mich ist die Etappe, wo das schlimme Unglück passiert ist, eigentlich eine Etappe, in der ich mich sehr wohl gefühlt habe. Gleich hat man natürlich permanent gemerkt, dass man da im hochalpinen Gelände unterwegs ist, dass das Wetter unglaublich schnell wechseln kann. Dass man am Schluss ist man ein Spielball von der Naturkräfte in so einem Gelände, das war klar. Sich vorzustellen, was jemandem in so einer Situation durch den Kopf geht, finde ich unglaublich schwierig. Und es muss einfach grausam gewesen sein. Ich meine, wenn du dort so exponiert stehst und du kämpfst einfach um dein Leben in diesem Moment und hast den Tag wahrscheinlich mit ganz, ganz anderen Gedanken angefangen. Und das muss sehr, sehr grausam gewesen sein für alle, die gestorben sind, aber auch für die Überlebenden.
My name is Tommaso Piccioli. I'm just turned 50 this year, and I'm an architect. And we were about to do the haute route. We knew that the bad weather was coming. We didn't know how bad it was, but we knew it. So we managed to do the first 3 days in a, I'd say, ideal way. Yeah, and then, you know, the bad weather came and everything went wrong from just couldn't go worse than that, you know. Yeah. Betty, it was my best friend in Bolzano. I was skiing all the time with, touring skiing, also normal skiing. We went many times skiing together, and then she said, well, I said, the idea was mine. I said, why don't we do the whole tour this year? We both free, so let's do it. And she said, oh, that's great. I always wanted to do it all my life, because my dad did it. I think he did it 11 times in the past. So her dad was an expert of the old route. We were supposed to do that trip. It's called Serpentine. So you have like maybe 3 hours climb. There's a saddle. You ski down. And the feature of this trip, and that's why there's no way you have to do it with bad weather, is that, and I learned it afterward because I didn't know anything. I mean, I didn't inform because I was with a guide, so, which is still a mistake because you always have to know where to go. You have to have maps and stuff. But you know, when you have a guide, you're lazy, so you just trust in him. It's a mistake, but that's what happened. Not only for me, for all of us. So basically this trip, up the saddle, go down, skiing down, and then there's a forced passage between two rocks of 2 meters width. So you have to get through this, how do you say, bottleneck. And then after that, there's a long traverse, but easy, and then you are at the vignette. The morning the guide decided to go, nobody said anything about it, which is quite, for me, it's a bit worrying, this thing, because we knew the weather was coming. I went to talk with the guide then and said, what are we going to do here? He said, we start and then if you see bad weather, we come back. That was the plan. But that morning we just started, and, you know, because he went, we all got along. And then we climbed, let's say, a couple of hours, and we found ourselves in a whiteout, which is a condition where you can't see 2 meters away, so it's pretty bad. And then, you know, we got lost, and we've been lost all day. The guy had a mobile phone with the maps he used for a while, and then I think it got frozen, so it went off. I mean, I can't guarantee, but I have a very improved sense of orienteering. So I was saying that it was running in circles. That's why I offer my GPS, and I can show it to you. So this same GPS is the one we used all day. I was looking at the GPS, and the guy was heading the group. That's the way we did the last bit to the saddle. So we were heading towards the hut, but we were finding rocks all the time, so we couldn't get into that passage. We were going down here, and here is where the tragedy occurred, because we couldn't go through here because of that rock thing, you know, the passage. I was optimistic because, I mean, that's why I never lost control, because it was showing that we were very close. We were on a straight line. We were probably 500 meters, very close. So my guide said, I saw some omini, which is like stone towers. So we tried to get there. But to get there, there was a very bad climb. So all the people went exhausted. But we managed to do it. And he decided we were staying there. We're gonna dig a hole here, which was totally impossible because there was no snow. It was like a saddle, a rocky saddle. So what I did, I dig as much as I can under the rock, And that's what we did for a while, but because it was so windy, there was no point. I mean, if you dig a hole, there's no wind inside. That's why you survive. But with the wind blowing, you're gonna die, man. I mean, I've been lucky not to. I mean, it was obvious that we all died there in that kind of condition. Betty was exhausted. Then when the night started, she was calling my name. She was like, she called my name so many times, like, help me or something. And I said, look, the only thing, you don't have to fall asleep. Yeah, so I shouted, look, you have to move, you have to plan to move 8 hours from now. I would have shouted to Betty to just stay awake, but I couldn't do much. I flipped her 2 or 3 times because she was going with her face down in the snow. I don't know why. And I was flipping her, but there wasn't much I could do because I had to do this movement. You know, this is the minimum movement you can do to stay alive. You can't do much. And maybe I was sleeping doing the movement. I don't know, because one thing that I remember is that I had Francesca beside me, not Julia. I had Francesca, and I was hugging her. I was hugging her, and she was hugging me like if we were lovers, you know. And then I don't know, something happened, and Francesca was Julia. I mean, Francesca, at one stage I realized she wasn't Francesca anymore, it was Julia. So Francesca was just there, and she was covered by snow, and there was Julia there. So I don't know what happened, but I didn't realize that. Probably it happened that Francesca kind of, I don't know why she walked away, really, I don't know. But she was just a few meters away, and I had Julia with me. So I don't know. And that was in the morning. And then in the morning we opened our eyes, then we were cautioned. And then she spotted this group of skiers just underneath. I went there with my last energies and I started yelling and they saw me. And then I went back, wait, and after 15 minutes I saw people, rescuers around the camp, and then the helicopter arrived. And it was like a battlefield, and they were all covered by snow. So I said to myself, there's very little chance that some of them are alive. And also, I wasn't sure that Betty died, so I was still hoping that. You know, she arrived at the hospital alive with a body temperature of 3 degrees. Jesus. And that's where she died. In the last 2 months, it's been hard, like couldn't sleep. Now it's getting better, but I felt like unstructured, weak in many things. And also angry. I mean, especially, I love Betty. So it was, for me, it was an important person. So emotionally, also for me, because I'm angry for me too. Because, you know, these things changed my life. So it's hard. But, you know, it's not the same as before. But now I really want to fight. I mean, there must be a setup of the whole thing.
Solange Leute in die Berge gehen, wird es immer Unfälle geben. Das ist einfach so. Aber man muss halt zwischendurch den Mut haben und umkehren. Das ist wichtig.
Ich persönlich glaube halt, dass man mit Vorbereitung das Risiko minimieren kann, bis zu einem gewissen Grad. Und nachher, man verliebt sich in etwas. Ich habe mich ins Skifahren verliebt, von klein auf. Und man wählt das nicht, weil es so gefährlich ist oder weil es so viele Gefahren birgt. Man verliebt sich halt. Und für mich ist das wie etwas, wo einfach zu meinem Leben gehört. Und ich wäre nicht der gleiche Mensch, wenn ich nicht mehr Skifahren könnte, wenn ich nicht mehr so Sachen machen könnte. Und darum, ja, ich glaube, mit einer guten Mannschaft, mit einer guten Vorbereitung würde ich wieder gehen. Weil was wir erleben durften, ist etwas Einmaliges gewesen.